So next up, Justin Yu, our coworker from Korea. See, it's a very international conference. We said speakers from every continent. We weren't lying. So Justin Yu is going to do a fantastic session on using Swagger to build custom connectors. I know. We haven't done that today. So I am very interested to see what Justin has in store for you, along with those decapitated EVA heads on his desk. Over to you, Justin.
Hello. Hi, everyone. All right, let's get started. Today, I'm going to talk about the serverless custom connector for Power Platform by using the Swagger. So my name is Justin at Microsoft, working as a senior cloud advocate. So let me share my screen. Right. So I have a friend who is a marketing person, and she wants to use her YouTube the feed to amplify their contents on the social media. But the problem is it is built in Atom format, and it also has the custom the namespace. So the built-in RSS connector doesn't pass the custom the namespace bit. So she concluded that the built-in RSS connector is all good for RSS feed, but not for maybe not for Atom feed, or at least is not good for the custom namespace parsing. So we have concluded that we need to build a custom connector using Azure Functions so that our Power Automate and Power Apps can use those custom connector. So how we can build the custom connector? So if we use Swagger extension onto Azure Functions, then it would be more easily and seamlessly build the custom connector. So I'm going to show for the demo for the rest of about 20 minutes or so. I'm going to show how we can use the Swagger the extensions onto Azure Functions. Then with these Azure Functions, we are going to build a custom connector, and this custom connector will be integrated onto the Power Automate, then will be used within the Power Apps. I'm going to show this end-to-end demo for now. So if you are interested in, please visit these two links. The first one is about the Swagger extension, and the second one is I just built published the blog for what we are going to talk about. So let's get started. So I'm going to show for now, this is existing as a function application, so which will be taking care of the YouTube feed, which is built in Atom format. So for now, I'm just doing building the application, and I'm going to run this application on our local machine. So when we see that, there is two endpoints here. The first one is the list of all the feed items, and the second endpoint is just retrieve one single item. So with these things, let's have a try. How this is working. So I copy this the URL and I put onto the Postman, and yeah. So and I'm going to use the request payload here. So I put request payload and send a request to my things. And don't worry about that Korean characters bit here for now. So I got the response there. Now, so we have the single response here. If I send the request again, and because it is a random, so it will return a different the item. So click again. So it returns the episode 7, and it returns episode 10, and now episode 8 or something like that. So this is all good. So we confirm our existing as a function application is perfectly working fine. So, but the problem is here, how do we let other people know about what the request payload look like and what the response payload look like? We have no idea. So in that case, Swagger definition or OpenAPI definition, this is a good place to let other people know, which increases our the API discoverability. So how can we make this happen? We are going to integrate the OpenAPI extension into our Azure Function application. So let's do this. So I have already installed the OpenAPI extension from the NuGet package. Now, in order to install install the OpenAPI extension, and I have already installed, but we need to install the boilerplate code here. So I download the installation script here. Then it's not executable yet. So I change the permission. So it's now executable. So now I'm going to run this script so that the boilerplate code will be downloaded into your Azure Function application. See, on the left-hand side, we will be able to see some sort of change here when I run this script. So I'm going to, so run and see there is some OpenAPI directory happens. And within that OpenAPI directory, we have boilerplate code here. That OpenAPI HTTP trigger takes care of all the OpenAPI endpoint, related endpoint thing. So I'm not going into too much details here. But so I've closed this and I will build this application again. Then once it's built, then let's start running the function app. And you will be able to see some differences. So see, initially we have two endpoints, the feed items and the feed item. Now we have three extra endpoints here. The first one is render OpenAPI document. The bottom one is Swagger specific document. And the last one is Swagger UI. So we have built those three endpoints because of that boilerplate. So let's copy this Swagger UI URL and paste it into our browser. Then you will be able to see. So this is a Swagger UI, on top of your Azure Function application. Oops, but there is no endpoint yet because we haven't let the Swagger know how our endpoint look like. So this is a thing we are going to add now. So as I have installed the Swagger OpenAPI extension onto our functions, and we can use decorators. So if you are familiar with the swashbuckle sort of things on Azure ASP.NET Core, it works pretty much similar. So I put those decorators in OpenAPI operation, which indicates this will be used within the custom connector with this name, get feed items. And I also declared the request body will look like, and response body will look like. Now, so this is another OpenAPI operation called get feed item. And also it declares request body and response body as well. So with these, the decorators, OpenAPI extension decorators, and we just exposed these two endpoints to the Swagger definition. So save it and build this again. Now, so everything is okay, and run the function app again. And from the endpoint perspective, there's nothing much difference. But when you refresh this page and expand the browser, and ta-da, you will be able to see the endpoint defined here now. So now we have endpoint defined, and this is because we just use the decorators in here. Those decorators enables for each endpoint to expose the Swagger definition, right? So if we click the Swagger link, and this is just created on the fly. This is the important thing, on the fly. So we just put the decorators, and it is generated. This Swagger definition is generated on the fly. Now, we are all good to go. So we are going to deploy this application onto Azure. Then the custom connector we are going to create is using these Azure functions. Now, I have already built on the Azure. So this is the one. And then I just copy this URL onto the browser. Now, this only requires the HTTPS connection. So yeah, this is it. And yeah, it will render the same Swagger UI page. But the difference is it's using the real the endpoint rather than the local host. And also it shows the code bits. And yeah, this is generated on the fly as well. So our Azure Functions deployed onto Azure is ready to be used for the custom connector. So let's create the custom connector here. So I'm going to create a custom connector on the Power Automate page, and there are a bunch of options, but we are going to use OpenAPI from URL. So this is the thing. And put the name, Atom Feed Reader, Atom Feed Reader, and put the URL and import. This is the thing. Oh, oops. Oh, okay. So this time, yeah, sometimes it happens. Sometimes it's happening. Don't worry, don't panic. So if this is not happening, then we can simply save the Swagger file on the as a function app, then import it as a file. There's no problem. So I just save it. Then go back to the Power Automate site and create a custom connector from file this time. So put the name here, Atom Feed Reader, and this time instead of using URL, we just import Swagger. Now, which is all good. So let's continue. So we have already built the Swagger definition, so we don't have to worry about those things. So it's already there, already pre-filled. So let's have a check. So this is the host URL, and this is the base URL /API. And security perspective, we have already built the as a function header in there, the x-functions key. Now, and this is a definition. So remember, there are two endpoints. So this is the get feed item and get feed items. And those get feed item and feed items is differentiated by operation ID. And we also have the request body and response body. Now, we are going to see. So let's see another one. So this is the another one, and this is operation ID. And this is a request body, and this is a response body. The Azure function, the OpenAPI extension is actually specifically considered to generate custom connector. So yeah, it is easily, very easily to build a custom connector. So now, saving the custom connector, and once it's saved, now it's saved, then let's have a test whether it is working fine or not. And in order to start testing, we just build a custom connector, but it's not, we haven't established any connection to the custom connector yet. So we are building, we are putting the API key from there, from that code bit, and copy, and yeah, put the API key there, and connection is created now. So refresh the page, and yeah, see, we just got the custom connection. Now, so those parts. So if we enable this row body, and we can directly put the JSON payload there, but you know, we can do that. But this is we can do it in this way, because those request body already we declared within the Swagger definition. This page already automatically generate all the field like this. So feed source is YouTube, and I copy the feed URL into the feed URL part. Now, yeah, just return the number of items, and if I want to return a random manner, and it's true, and yeah, I want to exclude some sort of strings here. So yeah, don't worry about the Korean part. So I put the test operation. Now it will return a response like this. Right? So this is returning the season 1 and episode 8 the item here. And if I click the test button again, and it returns this one. Again, it returns, oh, the same thing, okay. So it returns the result, because it is random, right? So I think our custom connector is working perfectly fine. Now we are going to use this custom connector to generate the workflow. And this workflow will be used for the contents amplification. So, and this the workflow will be used by the Power Apps. So the trigger will be Power Apps here, and I'm going to give it a name, like the amplifying a random YouTube content and create it. And this is the visual designer, and you can see the trigger is Power Apps. So this time we are going to use the Atom connector, the Atom connector that we just created, right? And as you see, it has two different actions. The first one is the list of feed items, and the second one is the single item. So we are going to use the single item. Now, so when you click that, and you will be able to see the same similar UI that we have tested. So it's the feed source and feed URI, and for the YouTube, and the number of items of 10 and the random true. Now, and put the filter text like teaser or something. Then, yeah, this is all good. So we just save it and let's have a test. So I think our custom connector will be working fine. So let's have a test and save, and the workflow is saved and have a test. So I'm going to have a test now, and it will confirm we are going to use this the feed reader, and yeah, run flow and looks fine. So also fine. So we get a single response here, right? So let's have so let's keep this in mind. And then, as I said, this is this workflow is for amplifying the content from the YouTube video and to the social media. So we are going to add another action for the social media. So now we are going to use Twitter now as post a tweet and put something, the random text here. Hey, check this out. And yeah, get the result from the custom action title and get the result from the link from the custom connector and save it. So it's all good. And yeah, let's have a check whether the tweet is properly posted or not. So we are using these two connectors here and continue. And it will show the successful. So this is the tweet we are going to post. So let's have a look. This tweet up. And yeah, see it's an episode 10, episode 10. So we are just posted the Twitter with the Power Automate workflow. But we still we are getting there. We are getting there. So we are adding another action at the end so that the Power App understand the response. So we put the response action here, and yeah. So just in the body section, we just use the body from our custom connector. Now we just save it. Then yeah, test again. It's fine. So yeah, fine. And the post is the episode 12 later thing. And if we refresh the Twitter, and then it shows the another new YouTube posted. And this is the response. And remember, this is the response payload. But we need to let Power App know this is the response payload. But how can we do that? Let's add the schema, response schema here. So we just copied the response payload, and with this payload, we put it automatically generates the JSON response schema, so which is all good. Now we are all good to go. Save it. So this is the end of Power Automate generation. Power Automate the workflow. So done. And let's move on to the Power Apps side. We are using, we are putting some controls here. Now, so yeah, use the phone layout. And yeah, as I said, we are putting a few the controls here, and those controls will be using the Power Automate, the trigger and response. So start from here, and yeah, just insert. I'm going to insert one button and two labels and one images. Okay, so yeah, I'm going in, putting in the center. I'm very center person. So yeah, put another one as a center. So this label goes into the center again. Yeah, I like center. So everything goes into the center. Good. So what I'm going to do is, if I tap this button, it should activate, or it should trigger Power Automate. How can we do that? So there is the menu on the top side. There is an action. So it shows Power Automate here. And we just have created the Power Automate, right? And we just connected. So when the Power Automate is connected to the button, so when we tap the button, it will execute the Power Automate workflow. So when it is connected, something will be happening. Yeah, right. See here. So we need to complete this function, and amplifying a random YouTube contents. This name actually represents the Power Automate that we created. So, but we don't pass anything. So yeah, as I said, this is the one. Because we don't pass anything, so we simply close the function, and it returns the value as a response. So we need to capture those responses here. So using the clear collect function and result collection. So this is it. So when we tap the button, it will execute the Power Automate, and it will capture the response into the result. That's what the button does. And then we have the result collection. We will use that. So get the first result, and the result has these. Remember, it has 4 different the properties. So it use title, and this one we use first and result dot, and we are going to use the link. And here, as you can imagine, an image control, we are going to use first result dot thumbnail link. Right? So everything is set up. So now it's time to test. So let's see how it's going. So if I tap the button, if I tap the button here, then it will return a response on the app. So yeah, so this is the one. So is the episode 5. Let's see, and this is the thumbnail. So if I refresh the Twitter here, so it's episode 5, which is all good. Now, if I tap this button again, and it will return episode 7. So if I refresh the Twitter, and it posted perfectly. So this is the one. Oops, I have completed all the end-to-end scenario here. So what we have done is we create the Power Apps, and we create the Power Automate and linked it. And within the Power Automate, we use the custom connector. Now we use the custom connector, and that custom connector is generated from Swagger definition, and that Swagger definition is the integrated with your Azure Functions, and this is the one. So when we see those things, right? This the OpenAPI extension is enabling your Azure Functions more extendable or discoverable. As I said, these are 2 links you are going to see, and so I want you to try these 2 links. So have a look on these documents, and have a look at my blog post, and you will be able to run your Azure function with this extension. So yeah, this is the end of my session. Thank you for listening. And if if you have any questions or if you want to discuss more, and there is a link, aka.ms/powerfuldevconf/15 to get there, or just take a picture on the QR code and we can discuss that. And thank you.